Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
So, good morning, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the adult training class. That means farmer training class. So, is my voice is audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So today we can discuss about how these training classes occur and what sort of things we should consider and how the people are conducting. So I already told that you should assume yourself as an agriculture extension officer and you should know how to behave or how to conduct a training. Before that, how to plan a training and how to conduct, right? How to succeed or how to accomplish your goals. So your high officer will give you some tasks to complete through this training class, so that you need to plan that one, conduct that one, and finally finish. And the important part is you should measure the um, your purpose. That means whether you achieved or not. So you need to do some evaluation, or you need to take some feedback from the farmers, and you should know, yes, it was reached, and at least 80% people have um, understand the thing, sometimes adopting the things like that, right? So in such a way, we will see about these training classes. Usually, there are certain places where these trainings are occurring. That may be government institution. That means the state-owned or that is planned by the government institution. They are having certain locations or certain centers in order to carry out these extension education or extension classes, farmer training classes for the different set of people, right? So for farmers, sometimes they will carry out these kind of farmer training classes in the locations other than the centers of government. That means maybe some public places or some community centers they are using for that, because those are the people usually gather for the other reasons, like for their worships or other things. So sometimes they make the people to gather in the temples or in the community centers. Usually every areas they are having some community centers. Sometimes this community center they will call not community center. That means library, right? Library oriented. There is a center. There is a place. So where you can have the classes. Sometimes in the schools, right? Maybe in the agriculture schools or in the ordinary schools. So when we consider about the government centers, that means the places where the training will occur. These are some of the examples, like DATC, ISTI, FMTC. So have you heard about these things? DATC, what is that?
District Agriculture Training Center.
District?
Agriculture Training Center.
Yes, the district agriculture training centers. Already we discussed about this, right? All over Sri Lanka, every district have this training centers. Sometimes you may visit to the Jaffna DATC, that is located near to the main campus, that is Tirunelveli, right? So DATC, there they are providing the training to farmers. Then what is this ISTI?
In-service training of institute.
Yes, in-service training
Institute.
institute. So what is this in-service training institute? Where it is located?
Gunner.
Hmm?
Gunner.
Ganarva, right? So other than Ganarva, there are certain Department of Agriculture. They have this ISTI. ISTI means In-Service Training Institute. IS means in-service, right? So you know the in-service training, when it will happen, this in-service training. We have studied about 3 service trainings.
To improve the performance of the employee.
Yes, in order to improve or we make some development in the staff where they are, right? So if there is a Department of Agriculture staff, they will be having some in-service training institute there. The staff will be provided with some kind of training. So if there is a new technology is introduced in soil or anything related to fertilizer, they will call the staff and they will perform the training specially, right? So those are the places where in-service training institute. um, and then FMTC, what is that FMTC?
Farm Machinery Training Center.
Farm Machinery Training Center. So where it is located?
Under.
Yeah, in Anuradhapura it's located. So um, you can that is the though next to the Rajarata University, that means the agriculture faculty of Rajarata University. So FMTC, where you can have the training for the farm machinery. So farm, when we consider farm machinery, mainly they are having the four-wheel tractor, two-wheel tractor, right? So these are main machinery they are having where you can have the training. Usually in our curriculum, I think when you are in the third year second semester, we have a training. Usually students will be taken up to there and you will be accommodated there. In previous times, usually we have 3 weeks training. 3 weeks training means you will be able to handle a four-wheel tractor or two-wheel tractor by yourself. Then it is reduced, and when we visited, we are the last batch we visited, because after that, you know, the problems, right, like COVID situation, that April attack, like that. So I think after our batch, they don't have any training. When we visited, we only for visited for only 2 days, right? So one day for the four-wheel tractor and one day for the two-wheel tractor. So usually not only the students, whoever the people, they can arrange, and they will be bringing to this FMTC. So you can have the accommodation, you can stay and you can practice. So the training will be happening the whole day. There are trainers for farm machinery, so they will be guiding you, and you can have different kind. You know, when you are handling the tractor or two-wheel tractor in the field, you have to know everything, the reversing and different kind of driving, right? So that is the training provided from the FMTC, Farm Machinery Training Centers. So that is, other than this, there are certain places that is the training provided from the government centers, right? Some Department of Agriculture, you know, they are having. And so these are the venues, that means the places which are providing the training to farmers. And then types of farmer training. Farmer training, it differ from the type of training, right? So here we are considering the way how they delivering the training. So sometimes it may be a seasonal training. Seasonal training means it will happen for a certain period of the year or sometimes certain days, right? So usually uh, when there is a new thing happen or new innovation or new technology practices, so the seasonal things will happen, right? So they will conduct. And the mobile one means, mobile means moving or convenient way, right? So the mobile services, sometimes some departments like motor traffic or divisional secretariats or like some departments, they will carry out some mobile services, right? One day mobile services, like that, mobile services. So mobile services means the people from the offices, so you don't need to go through the offices. They will come out and coming to the particular target area, and they will perform like mobile services. There are some, they will use some bus, right? They will use some vehicles, or sometimes they will use some places to make the mobile services. Have you understand what is a mobile service?
Yes, ma'am.
Normally this bank people, they will be having mobile services with their buses, like that, right? So that is mobile service. And one day service, so one day training means the training will happen for a day. One day training, sometimes beekeeping training or mushroom production, like the training, they will cover everything or whatever the thing targeted for the training within a day. So no need to stay in the organization. You don't have any much things. One day, right? The curriculum or the syllabus for the teaching or the intended targets will be carried out within a day. So that is about one day training. And residential. So residential means you need to stay and you need to study for a period, a week or 2 weeks, a month, like that. Quite all right. So these are the centers. This FMTZ, um, in-service training centers, or DATC, they will provide the residential, that accommodation, food facilities. They will give, and you can stay there, and you need to complete the training maybe for a period of greater than 1 week or like that. You need to stay and you need to uh, experience or get the knowledge. So residential. So other than these things, there are certain centers there, they are having the accommodation facilities. I think most of the Department of Agriculture, they have the facility to accommodate the farmers. So these are the types of training, how they are occurring, right? And then we see about the principles. So principle, on which basis they are conducting the classes. So the relevance, that is the topic selected for the training, should be relevant to the farmers. So when you are selecting some other topics, like if it is a beekeeping, you should select the appropriate trainees or the farmers. So you need to select either uh, people who are interested in beekeeping or the people who are doing beekeeping, right? So like that, you need to select the relevant farmers to the relevant topic. That should be very important. Otherwise, the training or the farming classes will be ineffective. And teaching aids, this is another important thing. When you are planning something, your teaching aid should be very clear and very much appropriate to the training. So today we are going to conducting a beekeeping training program to the farmers. We should be ready with the teaching aids. Like if I want to explain something in the field, I need to have some flannel board, because I need to write some technical words. If there is a discussion or a lecture, you should be having some colorful slides that should explain the things, right? Other than that, if you have some real samples like uh, you must have the real sample because you need to show that one, right? You need to show the bees, how they are rearing, and bee boxes, how to make the boxes, how to position the boxes in the field. Like that, you need to have some real sample and the field visits, right? Not only the lectures will be effective. So choosing the teaching aid, which aid you are going to choose for this program, that is important. Non-technical words. What is this non-technical words means? So if you are saying a word like adulteration, right? You are saying that in your class, in the farmer training, you are saying adulteration. So if you are saying adulteration to the farmers, we can assure that everyone will understand the technical word. So what is adulteration means? Have you heard about it? Adulteration? To which good that is related? Adulteration. Usually we use this word for what? Nobody heard adulteration? Adulteration you don't know.
Cheating.
Sorry? Tell me. Adulteration.
Mixing two ingredients which are same color.
Yeah, that is correct. So for which food we are calling this, we are relating this word much times.
Paper.
Mm, no, for milk, adulteration is a much popular thing. Every goods, every food are adulterated. But milk, milk can be adulterated with what?
Water. Water.
Water. What else? Different things, right? So in order to increase the volume or in order to increase the fat percentage of the milk, the farmers, the dairy farmers are adulterating. So that is the adulteration. See, if I say adulteration to you, you didn't understand what is adulteration. So likewise, the technical words are difficult for farmers. They know the usual. Now I explain what is adulteration. Everybody understand what is adulteration. But I said adulteration of milk is harmful like that. You didn't understand, right? Likewise, farmers also didn't know the technical words, but they know the thing. They know the exact word or the content, right? So likewise, when you are using the adulteration, so what is mulching? Mulching, what is mulching? Mulching, mulching, mulching.
Decomposed plant residues.
Decompose, that is, yeah, actually covering the plant area, right? The base part of the plant area in order to retain the moisture content of the plant, right? The ultimate purpose is not decompose, that is for retaining the moisture, right? You should keep the moisture. So in order to keep the moisture content, we are making some mulching means the covering the base area of the plant with some kind of grasses, so sometimes straw, sometimes cut grasses, like that we will mulch. The ultimate intention is to gain the retaining the moisture content, right? Yeah. So likewise, these are the technical words. If I say you need to cover some parts with the basal part of the plant, you will be understand. If you put a word mulching, they will not understand. Likewise, I'm explaining, right? So these are the technical words. So try to explain technical words. So non-technical words and limited information. So you should make aware about the information limitation. We can talk if your topic is regarding milk production. You know many things about you. If you are an extension officer, you are going to take the class to the farmer, dairy farmer. You know many things about the milk production related things. But you should simplify the things and you should limit the information, right? You have to plan. This is my today's work and I should cover this area. If you go many places, you will lose the main content, right? And the time will be limited. So you should plan the limited information. And simplicity. So simplicity, right? Your classes should be simple. You can't talk much, and if you talk many things, farmers will not accept, right? They need some kind of sharp cut information, right? And personal experience, this is another thing. So when you are doing your classes, when giving some example from your own experience will be benefited to the farmers. So you can say your experience in the particular milk production or whatever. Repetition. So repetition means sometimes in some places you need to repeat the things. Why we are repeating again? Sometimes we need to stress the thing. So if I said 2 times, 3 times, right? So sometimes whenever I'm starting the class, I will say we studied this much. We studied these topics like that. That will be a kind of remembering the things, at least recalling what you have studied. So likewise in the farmer training, you should make some repetition in order to remembering the farmer or making himself in the particular topic. Sometimes he will be out of the topic at a place. So you should bring him to the topic and on a track. So for that purpose, you need to make some repetition, right? And duration. So duration of the training, that also very much important. So you should plan according to that. If you have a lecture, make sure the lecture will be 1 hour or less than, because you have the experience. You can't sit for a place more than 1 hour. And if you have a continuous lecture for the farmers, you should plan according to that. Some resting period, refreshment period, like that you should plan. Yeah, if it is 8 to 12 lectures, that's why you have 8 to 10, 8 to 9 lecture, that 8:55 to 9, the 5 minutes will be a resting period. Then 9 to 10, then 10 to 10:15, there is a short break, tea break. Then 10:15 to 12:15, a continuous practical. Why their practical is 2 hours continuously? In the practical session, you will not have a continuous lecture. You have some practical lecture. After that, you will do the practical works. So you don't need a rest. The practical work itself have some work, right? So likewise, you should plan your training classes to the students. Usually, if when we are planning some activity work or group work, we will plan for the evening. Why? Because normally in the morning time, people will be active. After the meal, there is a kind of a sleepy, lazy mode activated. So in order to keep the people in the track, we will have the sessions like group activities or farmer field visiting period. We will be planned for afternoon. But when you are planning for these things, another thing you should consider the environment. So if you are planning some field visit, better to go for early morning or morning times. Why? Because sometimes the field observations will be easy for you to view in the morning, and the climate will be supported, right? So when it is really a sunny time like afternoon, you can't bear the climate, and you can clearly observe. So a better time for visiting to the field may be a morning time either, or evening time. You should plan according to that, right? And then participation. So this is another important thing. So participation, you must ensure that the participants are actually participating and doing. So when you are considering some field plot preparation, you should give, if you are a moderator of the farmer class or facilitator of the class, you should give access to the participants, and they should prepare the plot. First, you should explain how to prepare the plot, and you should give the utensils or the tools. They should prepare the field, and they should be ready for that. So participation is much more important. When you are explaining, after that you are doing the work, there is no any participation for them. They will just observe. So when they are doing the things, they will get a practice, right? So that is good. So these principles are much important when you are doing some training classes. Have you all understood these things? Shall we move into the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I already told, when you have any doubts or you need to make clear about some points, you have to ask, right? You have to ask at least in the comments, because only there is short sentences or short points are there. But you should be in a position to explain everything related to the training class, right? So now this is organizing training class. You know that when I told, when I studied about the farm visit, I told the important part of farm visit, home visit is planning the visit rather than conducting. Because at this carries much more important things, because those are much expensive thing. When you are going for a home visit, you are having a cost of transportation, traveling charges, food, like that, many costs involved, and you are having the valuable time. So you need to plan well. Likewise, if you are going to conduct some training classes, you should organize very clearly, right? Your organization, uh, you're organizing something for the class should be 100%. Then only you can able to conduct the class without any interruption. So organizing, when you are organizing the training classes, first of all, you should determining the training needs. Training needs means what is the objective, or what we are going to explain through this training, right? What is the core thing? So if our main thing is to explaining the milking practices in the cattle, right? Take that as an example. Milking practices in the cattle. So we should determine how we can make organization to milking practices. So when we are planning the things, we have to consider the topic. Then select venue. Select venue means you have to select the location where the training should be happen. So if it is a milking class, either you can set a training class in the government office, mainly maybe a office which is having some cattle farms and the machinery, or you can plan some place other than the training centers. Sometimes you can plan for when you, if you need to observe those practices, you can plan for Amdevala, right? They have big cattle farm, and you can observe clearly and about the milking practices. Sometimes you people may visit it, right? So in the Amdevala farm, you can have the much spacious area in order to observe the milking practices by using milking machines from the cattle, right? So you can have good observation area, and there is certain time, in the morning and evening time they will do milking. So you should select the location according to that, right? So because people have to observe the practices, so location selection is important. Then select trainers. This is important. So you should make sure about the trainers, the people who are going to train the farmers. So if their topic is to introduce the milking machine, milking operation through milking machine from the cattle, you should select the technicians or the people who are expert on the dairy milk or like that. So the selection of the trainers is important, right? Then organizing the teaching aids. So the teaching aids means sometimes you need to go for a lectures, and after that you will have a field demonstration. So you need to have some teaching aids for the lectures as well, and for the observation too. So you should select which teaching aid is going to be helpful for which situation. If it is a lecture, you can go for a slide, or you can go for a whiteboard or a blackboard, or sometimes the lectures will happening in the field, so you can take out the flannel board and explain, or sometimes you can able to show some flashcard prepare. Those things you can explain. So that is upon your theme. So organizing the teaching aid. Another thing is you should organize according to the time limitation, right? Then establish training plots. What is this training plots means? Sometimes if it is plant related training, so for that purpose, say for example, you are going to explain some harvesting practices in groundnut like that. What you have to do is you have to plant the groundnut before having the training. So if you have a training on today, you should plant the groundnut before 3 months, or you should select a field which is having 3 month old or harvesting season groundnut plants. So the training plot should be important. Then only you can show the harvesting practices in the field, because at the harvesting stage only you can do the training, right? So according to the plant availability you should select. Or if you are going to show some milking practices in the cow, you should select the milking cows, which farm is having the milking cows. Or if you are going to show something in the laboratory practice, you should prepare the solutions, you should prepare the samples, right? Or you should bring out the field sample to the laboratory. So establishing the training plots means not only the training plots is plant, maybe an animal, maybe a sample, or a laboratory equipment, soil sample, everything are training plots, right? Another thing is prepare timetable. What is this preparing timetable means? You should prepare the training timetable before the training, and you should disseminate that one to the trainees too, the farmers too. So you should prepare at what time. So if it is starting 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, there is a lecture. 10 to 10:15 or 10:30, you will have refreshment, and 10:15 to 12:15 visit into the factory, and then you have lunch break. Thereafter, you have the field visit, or you have the laboratory practices like this. You should plan and you should make a timetable. Then only you can run according to the timetable, right? So that will be more helpful. And farmers also know at what time what will happen, and they can be able to plan their things too, right? So preparing timetable for the training class. Inform trainees early. This is another important thing. When you have training, you should inform the trainees earlier. You can't take them the day before the training or on the day of training like that. You should properly inform them because they have lot of work. They are farmers. They have work every day, and they should make arrangement for those days. So you should inform early. Then only they will be prepared. So if they have any doubts, they can prepare many things they should prepare, right? The equipments, or sometimes they need to prepare for some special clothing. So they should prepare. So informing the trainees early time is important. Arrangements for trainees. Arrangements means other than the training arrangement, you should look after refreshment arrangement, food arrangement, transportation, and then accommodation. Many things you should make sure about the arrangement. So if the number is 40 number of farmers, you should arrange the accommodation for them. Sometimes you need to arrange some special purpose people, right? So like that, the arrangement for the trainees is also important. So this is all about the organizing a training class. Have you all understood? Or you need any clarification? How about organizing training class? Is it okay? Or am I fast? You have to tell me. Is it okay or not?
Okay.
Okay, you have any questions? You can ask me any doubts, any clarification, right? Every points are important, right? I'm explaining one by one. You should understood, right? When you go through with it is easy. You should explain everything, right? And another thing is your continuous assessment. I think for the mid examination, some people even touch the questions. They have write only you have three questions, 1, 2, 3 like that. Some people wrote only one question. You know the effect of this 20 marks question like that they have touched. Why? What's the reason? Two or three people done like that, and you didn't. You need to study well because that is very poor marks. Some people done very well. Yes, from your batch, some set of people. That means some people you have done very poorly. When I observe the marks, I don't know whether it is right or wrong, but usually the people who have joined after that, from the proper batch, you have joined from transfers and, after, some people have joined, right? After the orientation, many people have joined, no? So when I go through with the registration numbers, the late people got the lower marks. Not everyone, right? Not everyone. More people are from the late. Others also have the lower marks. I don't know the exact marks. I'm just telling about the overall view. When compared to me quiz exam, your mid marks are low. Mid quiz exam very easy, right? So that's why. But mid exam, so likewise the mid exam you will have the final examination, right? So you should improve your writing skill, and you should at least answer the question first if you know or not. Right? In the extension, you don't worry about the things. Everything related to farmer training, education, extension approaches like that. So at least any small thing right? Whatever please write first. I already told you. Whatever you know or not, write something related to the question. But yes, your mid marks very low. Very means very low, right? You have to understand. And you already, the continuous assessment, you can't have the second chances. And that is directly going to be add up with your final marks too. So please consider about it and study well in the final exam. What you are doing is, some people are writing very well and they are explaining the points and the questions all about the graphical representation, right? So that you need to have the graphs, right? So some people, they didn't grow, right? Others did very well. Some are extraordinary, right? That's the thing I am saying. So when you are, other people are doing well, you are doing very bad, you know the difference. So you should improve. Maybe language problem or whatever, that is your duty to improve the writing skill, right? For extension, you need to have some writing skill, right? That means, but it's really a easy subject when you understand from the point of farmer. It's easy subject. Sometimes you may not like because it's a theory, but really it's easy subject when you know from the point of farmer. You can write very well. You can give plenty of examples, right? That is the thing mainly expecting in the exam. When you are explaining the, say for example, arrangements for training, you should give some explanation, right? What arrangement, food arrangement, or accommodation, like that. You should explain this point. Then only a full question will be satisfied, right? So try to keep on mind your mid marks and do well, right? Prepare more. I advise you to, you need to improve in this, right? That will be helpful for you. Then don't worry after writing the exam and getting the results, right? So improve yourself. Writing skill. Another thing I already told, when there is lectures happening, you know that these slides will be uploaded in the LMS. Yes, everything will be uploaded. But important thing is, if you need to improve your language or English or the things, you have to take out the notes during the lectures. That is the good thing. Whatever the thing, everyone will upload. But in the slide only you have the points, the explanation or the examples, everything will be given out in the lecture time. Another thing is, when you are writing more and more, you will be practicing the language very well. If you are low in the language, sometimes you are coming directly from your native language to English medium, that may be difficult because many words like that. So when you are writing and more engaged with the language, it will be helpful to make easier, right? Sometimes you need to wait for the final year to be practice in the language. So that is depend on your practice, right? So try to improve. Extension mid marks are not satisfied, right? So you have to perform well in the final examination, in the both theory and the practical exams. This is an alarm, right, for you. And then this is the thing actually we are doing, conducting the training class. This is what happened in the training class. So what is happening in the training? You should explain the objective. That means, objective means why we are gathering this training class. Usually, I don't know whether you have the training classes. So when you go for a training, first of all, the head of the organization or the person who is responsible for the training part, he will give a small introduction about the organization, and he will tell about some objectives or goals. By say for example, Rice Research Institute is giving a training. The person from officer, he will explain, yeah, we are the Rice Research Institute located at where the Rice Research Institute of um, Labdua, and we are providing the training classes for this variety of rice, how to plant and how to harvest, like that. So he will explain, and why we are selecting the farmers is to improve the harvesting practices of farmers. So that will be ultimately helpful in this area to get higher production and low harvesting wastage like that. He will explain why we are conducting the training, and then introduce trainers. The person who is responsible for this training program will introduce the trainers. Trainers means some people will be expert in harvesting, some are expert in the pest section, marketing section, extension section, like that. There are certain trainers for you. So he will introduce them and describe the problem. So then the problem discussion. Problem means there is a problem in the post-harvest losses in paddy. So he will post-harvest means the harvesting losses that happen after harvesting, right? When transportation, processing like that, post-harvest losses or after harvesting in the field like that. So the problem will be discussed in the training class. After that, you will be allowed for suggestions, solutions, both, right? Some suggesting the solution. So, what sort of solution we can come up? We should improve the variety, or we can switch for some good varieties, or we can go for machinery harvesting, or we can improve some practices like that. The solution will be come out. Finally, discussion. Solutions means different way of answering to the problem. Discussion means finally every people will discuss and choose the solution. Final solution, okay, we can go for machinery harvesting. That is the final solution like that. They will come up, right? So, final part of the training is the discussion part or question answer part. You will go with some doubts or some questions. You can ask them. They will give some expert ideas, or the problem will be open for the public means the whole crowd. So the discussion will be happening. Finally, the people will summarize why we gather, and in the summary part they will be having some tagging sessions like that. The summary part is the final part of the training, right? This is about conducting. When compared to the organizing the class and conducting class, organization is much more important, right? And then evaluating training class. What is this evaluation and when it will happen? It will happen after the training. You should evaluate whether the training class was happened and whether you achieve the goals, achieve the objectives. So you should know how the class was conducted, whether it is conducted. So you can, if the farmers are educated or literate people, you can administer some questionnaire, right? You can administer some questionnaire. With this question they will fill out and they will be giving, and you can go through with it. You can ask some advantages from the training, limitation or challenges you faced in the training. Then you can ask from the farmers. They will write. Then you can go through with it. Sometimes they will comment, right? So the training session may be boring session. You can arrange well arrangement for the refreshment like that. Many comments will be come, right? So the evaluation time. And after that, effects or impacts. What are the effects and impacts of the training class, right? So that is about your farmer training classes. This is important. How the training happen, which places, and what type of training happening. What are the principles you should consider when arranging the training? How to organize the training class, and how to conduct the training class, and how to evaluate a training class after that. You have any questions? You need any clarification regarding the training classes? Or otherwise we can wind up. And this is your final lecture class, and one more class for practical. That session 2, you have the lectures theory part, right? 2 hours more, right? And I think sir will take you a class for you. Any questions? This is easy, right? First of all, whatever the question, you should imagine the thing. There is a training happening, or you should gain some knowledge from your past experience. You may be attended some training. So you can come up with that, right? No need to memorize every point. When you are going for a training, how you should how you experience, what sort of problems, how they plan the training, what you feel about the training, like that you should relate the things with your own experience. So I hope there is no any doubts. Do you have? I think you have class after this. You can say at least no, yes. Shall we wind up?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. No doubts, right? So you can find out your notes uploaded in the LMS. And I think you have uploaded the assignments to my mail. And hereafter, don't send, right? Your timeline was closed. So I hope there is no any questions. So we can wind up. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.